So I was going to put off filming this video today just because the time got away from me and now it's dark outside. And I was like, okay, well, my lighting is kind of trash in this room right now. But then I realized nobody watches our videos, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to go through the top 10 songs of the year in my personal opinion. These songs are not necessarily like all going to be from my favorite albums. Something about me is I feel like there's definitely records where the different parts are, they make for a greater whole. And so with that in mind, these songs are just like, for these 3 minutes, these are like some of the best 3 minutes that I heard all year. So with that in mind, my first pick is going to be, I'm going to do 10. So my first pick is My Golden Years by the Lemon Twigs, and this record is really, spoiler alert, but I think that the Lemon Twigs record from this year is probably better than their one from last year, which is saying a lot. But My Golden Years is, man, it is just an incredible melody, incredible writing. They really they really, leveled up their writing game on their new album. And I think like the guitar tones, they're all just like, they're so like, they shimmer like they're gold. And I think that it is easily one of their best songs they've ever written. Really not outside of what you expect from the Lemon Twigs at this point, but it's just them, operating at such a high level that it's I believe it's the opening track on the album. The album's called A Dream. A Dream Is All We Know. And really one of the greatest openers I've heard all year. So yeah. Ooh, Too Bad by Bruiser Wolf, which his record that came out, it came out like in, it was either January or February. It's called My Stories Got Stories. It's going to be one of the most overlooked albums of the year, definitely in hip hop. He is easily one of the most entertaining rappers writing today. And Too Bad, it is like, okay, so Not Like Us came out this year, obviously. And Too Bad is like prototypical Not Like Us. The beat is so, like, okay, I know everybody compares Bruiser Wolf to E40 with his voice. And that beat is not doing him any favors with that comparison. And I mean that like in the best way. He really just, that beat is an insane string sample, which I do believe has been used on an A$AP Rocky song like a decade ago. But it is an incredible sample. The song is such a party song, dude. And it's got like Z Loopers and Danny Brown on it. It's just it's basically like a little posse cut. But everybody comes and I wouldn't even say like, it's not like they're all doing the best verses of their lives, but they all come on the track and they sound like they're there to party. And they all are just like having so much fun, and it's so, I live vicariously through them. Bruiser Wolf, he's known for his punchlines, and just to leave you with this, my dick game is genius. She want a stroke of it. So yeah, that's all you need to know for that song. Oh dude, Dunce Cap. Shout out to Dunce Cap. With his song Two $2 Bills from his record that came out. Again, it's an early album release this year. Pay Your Dispute. And Two $2 Bills, it's a song that kind of over the course of the year really kind of hit me as like the centerpiece of his album. Really, really good job of, balancing his kind of like self-deprecating sense of humor with almost like a Billy Woods kind of frankness, where he just gives it to you straight. And it's for for just to give you an idea of the song, it's about him kind of dealing with his like a drinking problem, and you know he like him like digging through his stuff at home and finding two holy what are words $2 bills, and you know using them as a means to you know get an extra drink, which is just such a you know it just says so much without Dunscap actually you know spelling it out for you. That is just such a sad image, and I really think that it's maybe his best writing that I've heard from him all year. Really looking forward to whatever he does later. He did come out with another album this year, Steel Tip Dove, which is also very good. But yeah, that song in particular, highlight of the year. Then we got the Talk Talk remix from Charlie XCX with Troye Sivan. And this is like really like, you know, I'm like Krizo. I was really into, you know, just getting out there and having fun this year. And the Talk Talk remix was just such a beautiful soundtrack that came, you know, closer to the end of the year, but is easily one of the most, like that house breakdown on the hook was just so genius from Charlie and Troy. And I can't think of who produced that at the moment, but they are like they haven't collaborated like that much, but man, especially on Talk Talk, they are a match made in heaven. I love that song. I played the shit out of it all year, or not all year, but like since it came out, I've played the shit out of it. So yeah, that whole record, that whole album, like side note, the songs are remixes, but they're like totally restructuring all of these songs from Brat, and it's just so, like, I don't know how she did it, but yeah, Charli XCX owned 2024. All right, what do we got next? Oh, Mutations by Niloufar Yanya. I really hope I am saying that correctly. Mutations is a song from her new album, My Method Actor, and it's easily my favorite song on the album, although the entire album is great. Really, really incredible percussion. I think that it's one of the most pristinely produced records that I've heard all year. And I think that the way that she, you know, combines like these really lush strings with percussion that is so, like the percussion is so steady and it's so crisp that it kind of makes you forget that the song you're listening to is really, it's like a really slow song, or it feels like a slow song, like in theory. But when you're listening to it, it's like so good. It's so entertaining and it's so engaging. And I really think that the percussion on that album, or on that song, is kind of the core of that. Definitely, you know, Niloufar Yanya, she kind of was my big surprise of the year where, you know, I remember when Painless came out a couple years ago, and I listened to it and I enjoyed it, but it didn't stick with me. But, you know, now I am totally on board. I'm a Yanya head, as it were. So yeah, Mutations, great song. What do we got? Dude, okay, speaking of like going out and having fun, DJ Sabrina, Teenage DJ, came out with a record this year called Hex. And if you don't know, she's like kind of a house electronic producer. And on this album Hex, there's a song called Come Find Out. And I don't know if I had more fun listening to a single song than I did that, you know, with that song. She's very sample heavy, and but she also, it's not like she's making like super esoteric house music. Like this is straight up party music, and it's like so energetic. I've described it to my friends as when you listen to Come Find Out, it feels like you're driving on Rainbow Road. Like that is the exact the exact image that goes through my mind every single time. Easily, easily, like that was a song this year. Maybe more than any other song. I heard it and I was like, dude, like, DJ Sabrina is another artist where I was aware of her, but I didn't really fall in love with her. But that song alone was enough to make me a full on supporter. What do we got next? Oof. I Love by Yeat, 2093. We live in 2093, baby. Yeat is another surprise for me this year. I've always kind of wanted to like him, but it wasn't until 2093 that I did like him. And it was specifically the song I Love that, kind of sold me on him. Because that sample, that I love, it's like so eerie. And then he's kind of making rage type music. And that I love mixed with that giant bass just like, clocking you in the jaw, it's just perfect. It is, it's like better than anything I wouldn't say anything, but like a Whole Lotta Red wishes that it was 2093, save for like a few songs off that album. But I Love is just such a massive, like, cavernous kind of rage experience that, feels like almost like transcendental. And I know that people make jokes about like, oh, listening to Playboi Carti, it's like when you're listening to like Lean for Real, it's like you're like levitating. But like that really is how I Love is. It reaches that kind of level. Oh, I also just think that it's hilarious, like his the hook on that song is like, I love when you rage with me, which I just think is a very, very funny, it's a very funny hook, just like as a, reading it out on paper. But like the way the sample, like the I Love sample kind of like cuts in, it makes it so like, it's like for him, raging is like a vocation. It's like what he's meant to do. And so when he says like, I love to rage with you, it's like, dude, you are like, it's like him kind of like connecting with this person on a deeper level, which, this maybe sounds like, I got a tinfoil hat on, but it is really like, like he is that good. That song is that good. Along with like, he came out that album later this year called Lifestyle. And I think that album's good too. But man, 2093, really, really, he just killed it. All right. Next up, we got Laura Marling with Child of Mine, opening track from her newest album. And just put this in the camp of songs that make you cry automatically. I listened to this song for the first time and I was like, bruh, this is like the like Charlie XCX, on I Think About It All the Time. If she listened to this song, it would probably make her decide to have a baby. Like, that's how beautiful Laura Marling makes parenthood sound. And I know that it's like not necessarily, I know that people kind of get hung up on like religion in music. There's like a stigma against Christian music, and Laura Marling is definitely not making like Christian music, but her like invocation of like, divine protection, like her like praying for divine protection over her child, Like, it doesn't matter if you're the most like Reddit ass atheist in the world. There is something just profoundly really beautiful about that. And it is like I said with the what do you call it? The Lemon Twigs album. I think that the Laura Marling album, it's another incredible opener. So yeah, hell yeah. This is number 2. We got Cheerleader by Porter Robinson. I want to say this was my most listened to song of the year. I think this, when you were like in elementary school or middle school and you like get home on a Friday and I don't know, maybe you like have planned to do something with your friends and the world still feels like really like like it's a really big world. Everything is new to you. And you're just so psyched. You're so psyched for the weekend. That is what Cheerleader feels like to me. And the song's lyrics, it's about kind of like Porter Robinson, dealing with his relationship with his fans. And he, so it's not like it's necessarily this like happy-go-lucky song, but just like his guitar and his demeanor, his vocal inflection, the way he kind of explodes on the chorus, it is like easily one of the best pop rock songs of the year. Obviously, I have it at number 2. I actually really liked Knock Yourself Out, which is another single from his newest album. I liked Knock Yourself Out more when it first came out, but then eventually I came to my senses, and both songs are great, but Cheerleader is really just, it's a perfect song. It's a perfect pop rock song. And I think that Porter Robinson kind of got pushed to the wayside a little bit this year. As much as he's gotten critical praise, when the record came out, I feel like this song wasn't nearly big enough. I feel like it should have been a TikTok banger. But, what are you going to do? So yeah, Cheerleader. Perfect song, Porter Robinson, I love you. Number 1, best song of the year for me is Phone Glow by Burial. And this is, I think, the only song on the list that was not on an album. It was just kind of this like little A-side, B-side thing that he came out with. And as far as Burial songs, I don't even think this is like that out there. It sounds like a Burial song. But he just has a formula. Burial has a style of music that he makes that he has just perfected. He does it like nobody else does it. People call it like dubstep, like OG dubstep. People call it, I don't know, do people call it garage? Whatever they call it, it's, this really nocturnal, dusty kind of style of electronic dance music. And people make jokes like when it's wintertime, people will be like, oh, it's like Burial season. And that is really honestly true. I mean, it doesn't have to be winter. It could just nighttime. If it's nighttime and you're driving, Burial is like the perfect soundtrack for that. So I don't think that it's like necessarily the most interesting pick for number 1 of the year, because it's just kind of it's like a 9-minute long Burial song. And it has like its different phases and everything. But if you know what Burial is, which if you don't know who Burial is, go listen to Untrue. It's one of the best albums ever. But if you know his music, you know what a Burial song sounds like. You'll know what this song sounds like before you go into it. But it's just the way he kind of executes it that is so perfect to me. and I really have no problem giving it my #1 song of the year. So yeah, I'm not kidding when I'm not joking, I'm not being ironic when I say please subscribe. My friends and I love making these videos, and we just want to make something out of it. We want to make something out of this channel. So if you want to subscribe, hit the bell, you know what's up. I would love that. So anyways, thank you. Bye.